It's coming up on about 20 seconds before start time, about 20 seconds. Well, actually, about 40 seconds because the one watch is running fast. The stunner is running fast, so that's what we have to do. We have to pay attention to that. So let's see. This is an emergency broadcast, by the way. Short notice emergency broadcast. 20 seconds before. Triforce Rich is in the house. Triforce Rich is in the house for this emergency broadcast. And unfortunately, we've got a situation. We got a situation that may not be able to be rectified, repaired, cured. Eduardo's in the house. Let's do a quick close-up on the 231 stunner that's on wrist, the 231 stunner. And on the bench is the 002. The 002 is on the bench, as is the 005. The 002 solid gold stunner is on the bench for this broadcast. Some folks wanted to see some more close-ups of that puppy, so it's on the bench. And this is a short notice broadcast. It was literally, the event was just created a couple of minutes before showtime, and we went live, so we might have a similar situation to yesterday where people are coming in slow. I'm seeing 8 people in so far. They're all dribbling in, and we've got an issue. We've got an issue to discuss, unfortunately. I don't know what to do, folks. I don't know what to do. I think I have been very clear. I think I've been very clear with folks, okay, that it does not make sense to buy junk. It does not make sense to spend your hard-earned money and buy junk, particularly junk coming from China. Particularly junk coming from China. It does not make sense, folks. It doesn't make sense. Eduardo's in the house. Hey, Craig, there's a guy in a Facebook group considering the 005. What's your price so I can let him know? Eduardo in the house. Let's give him a good... Well, first of all, you got to find out if he's a subscriber, because he's got to be a subscriber. Otherwise, it's not even available to him. It's only available to subscribers. Subscribers only. So, let me think. He'd probably be better off buying Dave's. I think he can get a better buy on Dave's, because Dave's going to include the strap and everything. So, I would have to get 2,600 shipped for me to let go of mine. But I think David might even sell his for 2,500 with the deployant. So it might be better for him to get in touch with David, if David is still selling his, David Williams. So there you go. And I don't know what they're selling for on the open market. Fellas in the house. All right, so let me tell you what the issue is that we've got going on here. I told you, I think I mentioned the other day, a buddy of mine was interested in getting some boots, some cowboy boots. And I suggested that he buy some high-end Lucchese's vintage on eBay, because you can find them at pretty decent prices and get a really good boot. And even if you have to have it resold and have some work done on it, you still end up with a really fantastic boot for the money. And so I even found one that I showed him that was smooth ostrich on the bottom and probably lambskin on the top. But in any event, so he goes to this local place that sells cowboy boots. And he immediately bought this pair of boots that are made in China that were, I think, $190, somewhere around there. Cloth lined. They're not even leather lined. The salesperson said that they were, quote, waterproof, which means they might have like a Gore-Tex membrane in there or something, which is really horrendous. Makes it so they don't really breathe that great, and that it's just total crap. And so he bought these total crap boots for around $200, once all said and done. And, he texted me the picture of them. Oh, look at these. All proud. They get great reviews on Amazon and all that. And I said, hey, here's the deal, folks. People buying stuff on Amazon, most of them don't have a clue what in the hell they're buying. It's just like people buying stuff at Walmart. I got a great pair of boots at Walmart. Walmart doesn't sell a great pair of boots. they don't have any that are great. Okay? So this, I mean, what in the hell are we doing here, folks? First of all, we're supporting China. We're getting a crap product. We're giving over our hard-earned money for that crap product when there are much better options out there. There are much better options. Take a close look at those boots right there. Okay? Take a close look at those, and then I'm going to show you here in a couple minutes. I'm going to show you the other ones that I had suggested that he get. In contrast those. Let's see here. Eduardo says, okay, I'll see if he's interested in pre-owned, and I'll be in touch. And also, by the way, Steve might give him a good buy on one, on an 005. So we might talk directly to Steve about getting one brand new. Probably dog leather. Hi, Craig. How do you like your black alligator strap? How's it holding? It's holding up great. I got it from hdstraps.com, hdstraps.com. I actually got two of them, and one of them is on the 002 stunner there, and the other one I haven't worn yet because I'm just, once I wear out this first one, I'll put the second one on. But this first one's not showing any signs of wear at all. And I've had it, over a month. I've had it a while, and it's holding up great. So far, I love it. Triforce Rich, I just priced the 005 to sell it. I know you don't need the money, but that thing is just being invested, and it's not a box watch opportunity cost. Craig, sell it and investment money. I agree. I agree. I mean, I would sell it, but I don't like to take a sell away from David. I mean, David said that he would sell his first. So I would, just as soon that deal go down first, but I would sell mine. And if he came to me with a reasonable offer, I would sell it. I'm not going to give it away. Let me just clear a few things off my desktop here real quick, and then I want to show you, just to keep on topic here for a second, I want to show you the the boots that I recommended that he get, okay? Just one example. I mean, there are lots of options, but I'll pull these up if I can find them here. I think I put them on my watch list just so they'd be handy here. I think I did. Yeah, here they are. Okay. All right, give me a second here and I'll show you. Okay, so we talked about these the other day. All right, these are high-end Lucchese's. These are smooth ostrich, made in the USA. Okay, buy it now, price of $207.95. And let's look at them here. They look to be in pretty sound shape. Okay, pretty decent condition. Obviously, they've got some use, right? But the uppers are really good. So he could probably wear these for a couple of years and then have them resold by a competent cobbler. And notice these were made in San Antonio, which that's where the first factory was. That's really the best boots Lucchese ever made were made in San Antonio before they moved their factory. And I'll tell you what, you can't buy another pair of boots like that anymore unless you go vintage. They don't make them anymore like that. This is a case where they literally don't make them like that anymore. Okay? Both my pairs of Lucchese's that I have, the crocodile ones and the ostrich, were both made in San Antonio. Let me pull them up. And most boot guys will say those are the best boots Lucchese ever made, was the ones that came out of that factory. Let me see. Let me pull up. I'll pull up mine here real quick so you know what I'm talking about. And this is just one example, folks. This is just an example of what I'm talking about on the channel, of people making poor decisions, spending their money on crap. If you buy junk, okay, you will always own junk. All right? If you get yourself a nice pair of boots, a nice high quality pair of boots, okay, you can have them resold several times if you take reasonable care of the boots. They'll last you pretty much a lifetime if they're in rotation with, you know, a couple of other boots. You know, you wear the same boot every day, you might wear it out, right? But you get a high quality piece and take care of it, and you can wear them literally for decades. I've had these for decades, okay? And those crap boots that he bought, they ain't going to be around decades. I can tell you that right now. They ain't going to be around. So, just being wasted, I meant, which model did you buy? Tom, okay. Hello, Craig and all. Craig, are snake skin boots decent? They seem very popular. I would pass. It doesn't hold up that well. Snake skin is not that durable. Neither is lizard. I would not go with lizard, and I would not go with caiman. I would go with either alligator, ostrich, or just calf skin. Just calf skin, right? You don't need the exotic leathers. But if you're going to go exotic, I would go, I mean, you can go crocodile, because Lucchese isn't going to make something out of croc that's not good quality crocodile. You can go croc, mine are croc. Those are crocodile, and they've held up great. And I don't baby them. I take them to the rodeo and all. Those are the ostrich boots. And those, the uppers, by the way, are ostrich as well. The shafts there are all ostrich, a smooth ostrich, right? So that's the way you want to go on those, is if you can get all ostrich. That's called full ostrich. Okay, the whole boot is ostrich, not just the lower part, right? That's very good leather for boots. Very durable, very comfortable. But no, I would stay away from the snakes. I would stay away from the lizard. It just doesn't hold up that great. Elephant is like bulletproof. I mean, you get a pair of Lucchese's made of elephant and forget about it. I mean, so there you go. Which model did you buy? I don't know what you're asking, who about what. Hello, Craig and all. Craig, okay, well, I already read that. I'm going to lane split on the freeway for the first time in months. Wish me luck. Okay, there you go. Triforce Rich, Craig, Rolex should release a purple and green watch to match your polo. I'll sell. It'll sell for 3x retail and be called the chip. There you go. Absolutely. Called the Brie for Brie Fit Dance. Purple is really Brie's color. So there you go. But see, this is the problem we're running into, though, now, folks, is we're running into this problem where people are buying a lot of junk. And I had an email from a subscriber saying that I should also talk about furniture, that people are buying crap furniture at IKEA, you know. And so I snapped a quick photo of this chest of drawers that I have that I got from my dad. You know, he gave it to me. He's still alive. I mean, he didn't will it to me. He's still alive. He gave it to me some years back. I think I've had that for 25 years. He bought it when I was a little tyke, probably 4 years old. He bought it at an antique store. I mean, that was, 50 some odd years ago. And he refinished it. So it's not the original finish, right? He refinished it. But the key is all the drawers work great. They slide in and out great. Everything works great. And here we are, 50 years later, after he got it, right? And it was probably already 100 years old when he got it, right? So this is Victorian era furniture. So that's that piece on the right-hand side there, that swings over and you lock it, and that makes it so that the butler can't open any of the drawers, right? And so it locks all the drawers closed. So that's a side lock, Victorian. What do they call them? I'll tell you what they technically call it. They call it a Victorian walnut lock slide tall chest cabinet dresser. Okay, so that's basically what it is. So here's the thing. Here's the tip. Here's the pro tip. If you get a piece of furniture like that, that's antique, make sure everything works great on it. because some stuff is like it's gotten out of kilter over the years. Maybe it wasn't made that great when it was new, right? 150 years ago or whatever. And it just might not, it might be just not the way it should be, right? So you want to check everything and make sure everything works great so it'll be fully functional for the purpose, right, that you're buying it for, whether it be a walnut bed, like in my guest room. One of my guest rooms, I have a walnut bed that came from my parents also. They gave me that, and that's beautiful, but it's very solid, right? And so things like that. And you can get a decent buy. I think a chest of drawers like that one would probably be around $2,000 if it was in really good shape. Probably be around $2,000. You can get them for like $1,200, but they're going to be kind of, I wouldn't want them. They're going to be kind of in bad shape. Like I said, maybe not work right and all. So probably $2,000 for one that really works great. But here's the thing. That's something that, again, you can use for your entire lifetime, right? And then at the end of your lifetime, it'll probably still be worth the $2,000 at least, right? Again, it's not an investment. Even antique furniture, I don't really consider that an investment. I consider it something you're going to actually use. But instead of buying crap, you can buy something like that, right? Buy something that's solid and well made. Pro tip for all your furniture, don't buy junk, right? Take your time furnishing your place, one piece at a time, and buy decent stuff. Sometimes you can get decent high quality stuff at moving sales, yard sales. A little old lady, maybe she's passed away, God bless her, and she has some really nice stuff that you can buy cheap. I know that happens all the time where, you know, a solid walnut dining room table, for example, you can get a good buy on it at the right place at the right time. And then you've got something that, you know, can become a family heirloom that can be passed down to others. So think about that. Craig, I sent you a pic of my hallway phone, 1955 Western Electric 500. We'll take a look. Okay, we will take a look at that. Absolutely, we will. All right. And Lance sent a photo too, so we'll take a look at that also. There's the phone. How cool is that? How cool is that? Yeah, absolutely. That's a solid piece. I guarantee you that's a solid piece. 1955 Western Electric. Okay, let's take a look at this next. Lance sent and something to take a look at. That's not cheap. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for that piece. Nice looking piece, but I don't like the case. I don't like those kind of stuck on lugs. I like the more rounded, more flowing case designs. Some of the Grand Seiko case designs I'm not a big fan of, and this would be one where not a huge fan. Some people like it, but yeah, I would probably pass on that one. Let's see here. Chi-Town says, hi, Craig. Okay. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is, folks. What's the answer for these people that just go out and buy this junk, this absolute junk, with their hard-earned money? What can we do? Is there an intervention? Is there something that we can do? Because you see these people all the time. You see big crowds of people going into places like Walmart and coming out of there with carts full of junk, right? Absolute junk. And they're taking it home. And what's the deal? What can we do, folks? What can we do? And here's my buddy. I mean, this guy's a relatively intelligent guy. He's a little bit liberal, but he's a relatively intelligent guy. He owns a newspaper business. He's in business, right? Why on earth would he go buy those just total crap boots? Why would you put total crap on your feet? You've only got 2 feet, and you're going to go out and you're going to walk around. You're going to go places. Why would you want to wear total crap shoes, boots, whatever's on your feet? Why would you want to do that? Please educate me. Edumacate me, folks. Why would you want to put absolute crap on your feet? and walk around in that stuff. Let's see here. Not seen in the pic is the dial box so that I can use it when I need to press. Oh, okay, gotcha. Triforce Rich, let them make their mistakes, just like fast fashion. We can look better and benefit from the others' lack of foresight. I guess that's the way it is. I guess there's a lot of people that we can't help out there. I guess there's just a lot of people that we can't help. And here's the problem. They make these things, like these boots, for example, they probably make them so that when he pulls them on, they feel comfortable, they feel good. They've got like some foam rubber in the bottom, and his feet feel good and all that. And he doesn't realize that they're made like total crap, right? And that 6 months from now, the lining will be falling apart because it's cloth lined, not even leather lined. And he doesn't realize that, when he takes them to the cobbler to be resold, the cobbler's going to say, well, by the time I take these things apart, they'll just fall apart. You got nothing here, right? You got nothing to work with here. I don't know, folks. I don't know what we're going to do. I guess you're right. There's nothing we can do. We'll just let them flounder. Eduardo's in the house. Who has a birthday in 1969? I might have found their date 8. Oh, a birthday year date 8. Send it on. We'll take a look. Just like George Carlin said, they have a sale on stupid, you know what, and you don't even like the stuff after you brought it home anyway. Yeah. I mean, they do. They sell them that stuff. They absolutely do. Craig, do you think baseball / sports cards will get big again? That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I know that there was a problem for a while. A bunch of them were being counterfeited and stuff. So it's a bizarre thing. It's a bizarre thing. The only thing that I think has held up the classic car market, the antique and classic car market, it started getting soft in the 80s and 90s. It started getting like the older people that really appreciated those cars were literally dying off. And so the market started getting kind of soft. And then Dean Cruz and other big auction companies, they got smart and they started marketing internationally. They started marketing the cars to, rich Japanese buyers and other people around the world. And that kind of opened things up and kind of saved that whole market, if you ask me. And of course, the vintage Ferraris and all those things have done real well ever since, because now it's more a worldwide market, right? So if they did something like with the baseball cards, if they haven't already done that with them, if they could figure out a way to make them popular globally, in other words, expand the base of interested parties, right? That's how you can kind of save something like that. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is slowly but surely becoming more popular all around the world. And so that's continuing to push it forward, right? And keep it at relatively high prices. I mean, we're still over $9,000. People don't seem to understand. I mean, I predicted back in 1987, I said I would be happy if we had $5,000 Bitcoin in the year 2000, in the year 2020. I mean, in the year 2020, I said I'll be happy if we had $5,000 Bitcoin, and now we're almost double that, right? So we've done really, really well, in the overall scheme of things. If you step back and take a look at the whole picture, the uptake has been really good. Let's see. The thing I hate is that somebody will try to modernize old furniture by painting it white, and then it looks crappy and gets trashed when all it needs is the paint stripped off and revarnished. There you go. Jaden in the house. I like that you had to preface that even though your friend is semi-intelligent, he is also a little bit liberal. Yeah. He thinks he's conservative, but whenever we have debates, You know, like we talked about the whole mask thing earlier, and he's like, well, you know, of course it makes sense for everybody to wear masks everywhere. And I said, I wouldn't necessarily assume that to be true. Studies have shown that people touch their face more often when they have a mask on, and they're more likely to get infected. So that might be the reason why we've got so many more people getting infected, is because of all these mask mandates might be causing a bunch more people to get infected. So there you go. That's how the government and unintended consequences. That is a pretty interesting looking piece. Pretty interesting looking Rolex, date 8. Pretty interesting. A bark finish, date 8, 1803, similar to the one that our Wags has. I've grown to respect the bark finish date 8s. It wasn't something back in the day that I really wanted, and I probably would rather have just a regular date 8, but the bark finished ones are also interesting. They're not to be discounted, not to be ignored. Let's see. Craig, is there a discount for HD straps? What I would do is I would write him, I would send him an email and tell him that you're a subscriber to the channel here, and I think he'll treat you right. I think he'll give you a good quote and treat you right. I don't have any like discount code or something like that, but I think he'll treat anybody right that comes in via this channel. Mention me by name, and I think he'll take good care of you. Let's see. When I was growing up in the late 1980s, there were still a lot of 1960s and 1970s car around on the road as daily drivers. In the late 1980s, there were some. Yeah, in the mid 1980s, definitely. I mean, I was driving them. I drove a 63 Impala 4-door hardtop with factory air in around 1984-ish. I was driving one every day for a while, in between the Mercedes diesels that I was also driving. And I drove some Cadillac Fleetwoods, you know, back in the day. I drove a 65 Fleetwood in the 80s. Yeah, it was fun. Triforce Rich, got to head out, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. Okay. I didn't get a discount from HD Straps, Eduardo. Well, I mean, he gives pretty good prices, period, too. I mean, here's the thing. His prices are pretty good to start with, so I don't know how much room he has to really discount. But the other thing I would be more concerned with is have him take his time and really do a super job. That's what I would tell him. I would say, listen, we're going to show it off on the channel, and so that way he takes his time and really does an extra special job on your particular strap and makes it really good. That's what he did with mine. He made them really, really first rate. And so rather than getting a discount, I'd rather have him spend some extra time and make sure I get a really, really nice strap. So there's that to think about. I love the rationality of half these yumokes out there. Oh, I can't dress nicely and wear decent clothes because everyone else dresses like slobs. Yeah, right. Kevin's in-house morning crew. Well, here's the thing. I mean, we've talked about this. You can dress casually and still dress nice. Wear a nice pair of khakis with a nice belt, nice shoes, even just a polo shirt. This one's a pretty worn out, older polo shirt that I'm wearing. You know, and you still look decent, right? I mean, so there's that. You know, you don't have to be wearing a 3-piece suit and a shirt with French cuffs and so on and so forth, right? I mean, let's see. Kevin says morning crew. Okay, right now I have a touch of plantar fasciitis. I can't pronounce that, so I am more than happy to be going outside with cheap-looking pair of slippers. You could also wear like a pair of moccasins from Townview Moccasin Company, and those would be really look nice and be super comfortable. And so, yeah, you can even do that in a classy way. Or a pair of moccasins from Russell Moccasin Company. Russell Moccasin Company, that would work. Kyle's in the house. The guy selling that Date 8 is asking $10K. It's a little bit heavy. A little bit heavy. I think the Date 8s are coming back, though. They're getting more desirable. I think it's probably because we've been talking about them a lot. Scott's in the house. Hi, Craig. Should I sell my 118238 and upgrade to a 40 millimeter 228238? Well, upgrade, that depends on if you think you want that bigger size. I would measure 7 times and cut once on that one. I would really try it on and make sure you're happy with that size, assuming you're going to be wearing the watch a fair amount. Now, if it's a box watch, then it doesn't matter, but if you're going to be wearing it, I would want to make sure that you're comfortable with that size. To me, I think the 40 would be a little bit big and heavy. I don't think I would enjoy wearing it all the time. I think for me, I would stick with the 118238, because even that is heavier, of course, than the 18238, its predecessor. So you're getting up in a lot of wrist weight there. So I would just, I would really measure 7 times and cut once on that one. Eduardo's in the house. I didn't get a discount, but the service was great. The straps are almost here. Okay, well, hopefully they'll be fantastic. Scott, don't sell that 1.8. Well, he said he had a 118238, Eduardo. That's what he has, a 6-digit one, is what he's saying. A 40 millimeter, just look off. The proportions seem pretty weird. Okay, Eduardo. Scott, will a lightly polished on my solid gold Rolex bring down the value? Not a fully deep scratch polish, but a light scratch. I wouldn't do it. I would just wear it, and it will slowly get a patina. And even if there's a scratch on it that's kind of bothering you, as you wear it, the watch will slowly, it'll kind of smooth itself out, if you want, and almost kind of get an overall patina, if you hear what I'm saying. Now, if it's a deep scratch or something, I don't know. I don't know what you do there, but I would hesitate to polish it at all. I would definitely hesitate on that whole deal. Eduardo's in the house. Scott sent pics to Craig so we can see all of them. Craig, I prefer when people don't dress well. It shows they have substance and can rely on their mind, not needing to impress with cloth. Well, here's the thing. Again, you don't have to go overboard. You can wear a decent pair of khakis, a decent polo short, or even a button-down shirt, or just a decent shirt, a decent belt, a decent pair of shoes. You don't have to, press it, right? You don't have to press the issue. I think that's far preferable to dressing like a slob. I absolutely think it's definitely preferable to dressing like a slob. Any day of the week, anywhere, anytime. Fellas in the house, it's salespeople who need to dress well. Again, I think everybody should. I think you're handicapping yourself if you dress like a slob. Cheetown's in the house. Most people in the world don't have their own sense of taste, fashion, or music. Nothing else can explain why someone thinks a steel integrated bracelet, date-only Patek Nautilus, is worth paying $70K. They pay $70K for those now? Oh, my God. Talk about a fool in his money parting. That's a fool in his money parting. I find overly casual dress to do the opposite. I look at it as a phony casual facade. I don't know what you mean exactly by that. The tech moguls have taught me to not automatically trust someone because they dress poorly. Anyone have experience with 18-karat gold bracelets? Been thinking of getting an 18-karat 3mm diamond cut Franco. Do you have any input at all? I would look at the those bracelets that Steve has, the Fopay, or I think that's, how do you spell it? Is it I don't know if I can find it here. Yeah, it's Fope, F-O-P-E. Yeah, he's a dealer for these, and they come in different sizes and different widths, and they're really cool in that they stretch, and you can actually stretch and put them on, and then they're really really cool. I'm actually thinking about getting one of those. But you have to get the right size, and he's a dealer and he sells them in different sizes. So yeah, that's not a bad price on this one right here. Let's look at this one. So 7.5. So that looked like that would fit me too. Huh. I believe this is the one that stretches. I believe this is the same model. I'm going to add it to my watch list. Add to, oh, okay, add to watch. Okay. Let me see. I think that's the same one. With 6.11 millimeter. Okay. Yeah, I believe that's the one that I'm not 100% sure. This might be one you have to unhook to put on, which I don't like that as much as the one that stretches, because it's easier to put on and off. Yeah, this one you might have to actually unhook it and hook it back. So this might be a different style. I like the one that Steve wears, that you can stretch it. Just put it right on and then it comes right back to where it was. I mean, it's really cool. So that's what I would look at for sure. Talk to Steve. Let's see. Anyone have an opinion on the... By the way, I usually put in the description of these videos a link to Steve's website, littletreasury.com, in case you need to talk to him about anything. Fellas in the house, anyone have an opinion on the GMT yellow gold green dial Rolex? Is it too much and would offend? No, I think the green dial is fantastic. I think the green dial is absolutely cool. Send a picture and we'll give you more of an opinion on that. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. You don't wear a yellow gold sports Rolex unless you want to make a statement. What someone thinks about you wearing your watch is none of your business. Okay. We can only control what message we convey to others. We can't control how they interpret that message. Well, there you go. I think if you dress nice, if all your other, you're dressed nice, wearing a gold Rolex is fine, goes with the program. But again, if you're dressed like a slob, I don't think there's any reason to wear the gold Rolex, because it's just not going to help overcome all that. Eduardo's in the house. Too much flash, Craig. I'm looking for a daily piece that classy. I don't want to look like a drug dealer. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I think his looks really classy. I've seen Steve wearing his, and I mean, with a suit, right? I don't think you'd want to wear it just with normal clothes. Probably not. But with a suit, with a nice watch, especially a gold stunner like the 002, and wear the bracelet on the other wrist, I think that would look kind of classy. There you go. Leon's in the house. I don't know, Craig. Little Treasury does not seem willing to get you a set of GS cufflinks or a GS Fope bracelet. Time to kick them to the curb. Well, I don't see any other jewelry stores coming forward and offering either. So I don't think you usually kick the first one to the curb until you get a replacement, right? I think that's how we got to work on that. We got to have a replacement before we kick the first one to the curb. Mr. Q says, I'll take a Porsche 911 over a Patek Steel. I think that's a good move. Sent a photo of a vintage gold stunner. All right. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Oh, Movado. Okay. We'll take a look. We'll take a look. Lance has been doing a better job lately. He's been coming up with some decent pieces. This one, just right off the bat, the lugs look a little bit long, and they look like they're too straight down, if you know. They don't taper in towards the strap like I would like to see. It's not terrible, but it's, I would have to see it in person to see if it really pops. And the hands look like they've got some issues. I wonder if those hands are gold. Why would they have issues already? Yeah, see, I don't like the shape of that case either, the way it looks from the side. I think it just looks kind of cheap. I would probably pass on that one. That'd probably be a full pass on that one. Let's see. Cheetown, when I see a guy wearing a sloppy t-shirt, pre-ripped jeans, and a Nautilus or Royal Oak, I think no taste. Well, yeah, duh. Eduardo, no. I'll keep that bracelet on 24/7. I lost my last one to the washer. It was only a 10 carat, but still upsetting. I'll send you a picture of what I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah, if you're going to wear it 24/7, I would definitely have something really durable, because, that's a lot of wear and tear on it, right? So I'd try to have something that's going to hold up. Sorry for the misnomer from me, Craig. The spring drive movement doesn't tick, it sweeps. So there you go. Absolutely. Take a look at that one. Take a look at that one on the 002 Stunner. Look at that one sweeping along. Don't waste your money on a Movado. If you have to get a vintage watch, buy a Zenith. I hear you, Leon. And Cheetown says, wearing a loud and ostentatious watch with a sloppy outfit seems the message to me that somebody is trying to use the watch as a shortcut for trying to look successful. That might be a point. Might be a point, too. Absolutely. Or a liberal that is trying to fake appeal to the working class. That's possible, too. By the way, have you seen all these idiots on Facebook posting, oh, Florida's having record numbers of cases, right? Record numbers, more than New York, blah, blah, blah. They beat New York's worst day, blah, 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 blah. And I posted this one guy. I normally don't get involved in all that crap on Facebook, right? But I did post to this one guy, this jerk. I said, well, at least for now, Florida is still way behind New York on deaths. New York has the lead there by a huge margin. So clearly, even though Florida is having a lot of cases, clearly they are protecting their most vulnerable and not having the huge surge in deaths that the liberals are hoping will happen. The liberals are hoping that there's going to be a huge surge in deaths so that they can win the election in November. That's what they're banking on for the election, to win the election. And anything they can do to cause that to happen, they'll be right there with it. Let's see here. There are plenty of great clothes that are easy to wear. Polo looks 100% better than a t-shirt, and it's no harder to wear. You don't need to fuss around with a suit to look smart. That's right. A nice polo shirt and some nice khakis and a good belt to go with it, you're good to go. Even a nice pair of Bermuda shorts, so if it's summertime, right? Nice pair of shorts. I like linen sometimes in the summertime. Wear a nice pair of linen shirts. Again, a nice belt, always a nice belt, and nice shoes, right? That's what the ladies notice. They notice the shoes first, then they notice the belt, then they notice the watch. I hate to break the news to you guys. That's the pecking order. They notice the shoes, the belt, and then the watch. So have all three of those taken care of, and you'll be in good stead. There you go. Fellas in the house, I bought a navy pinstripe double-breasted suit. Looks sick. 3-piece too. There you go. Oh, absolutely. Lance, early Tudor used Rolex movements in them, but still I would not get one over a Rolex by Zenith. Absolutely. Sent a picture. Okay, we'll take a look. Mail-in ballots, fraud, and bailouts under the guise of Corona. There you go. Superb. And guess what? A Nautilus or Royal Oak will look fantastic with it. A Nautilus or Royal Oak wouldn't look fantastic with anything. I wouldn't wear either one of those on a bet. So, okay, let's pull this up. It might be okay. It might be a little bit fine, a little bit too small. I would hope that this thing's going to hold up real well. I would check out how it's going to be latched onto your wrist, how durable that latch is, because you don't want it to fall off at the inappropriate time. And you want that puppy to hold up. But it's not a hateful looking piece. I would just make sure that it's going to hold up to daily use. You're saying you're going to wear it all the time. I would just make sure it's going to hold up. That'd be my concern there. Alex Woods in the house. Okay, I already read that one. I blame the BLM protests for the uptick in cases, but nobody is calling them out because they are social justice warriors, so they are allowed. Yes. Well, the uptick in cases, I think Trump's right. I think they're doing a lot more testing. I think here's the thing. A lot of people had this thing, even back in the day in New York when this thing was just getting geared up. A lot of people had it that they didn't realize had it, right? That's why they had so many people die, right? Because a whole lot of people had it. They were all traveling in the subways back and forth, for weeks, right? Remember, they refused to close down the subways, right? So these people are all traveling around New York, all infecting each other. Most people just got a little runny nose or didn't even know they had it, right? Got it and got over it, because this thing really isn't that dangerous for most people. Most people are fine with it, right? So most people just recovered, right? So in New York, I'm sure they had a lot of cases, right? But they didn't know because they weren't testing anybody. Now, of course, they're testing a ton of people, and all of a sudden there's a lot of cases. Because I think this thing does spread very easily. I think a lot of people have it. I think it's like a little cold germ or something. A lot of people have it, and it's no big deal. They don't even know they've had it, right? And so, yeah, it's a total scam. This whole thing's a total scam. All the shutdowns were for naught. They didn't need to do any of them because everybody had it anyway, so shutting down didn't help anyhow. And sequestering people at home actually did more harm than good, because once somebody's infected, then they go home and they stay cloistered in there with all their other family members. Then, of course, all the family members are going to get it because you're all shut in a house, whereas you should be out and about. It would be much better, less likely to spread outside, right? So the government, once again, did the exact opposite of what they should have done to help this thing. They did 180 degrees the opposite of what they should do. Total fail. But they're doing it all because they're trying to win in November. I think that's the thing. I think this is their play. So there you go. I'd rather a 5320 PP. Okay, more versatile. Okay. Stop wearing T-shirts as outerwear because knit pattern polos and performance fabric polos are better wearing and not much more expensive. They look more dressed up. And if price is the thing, go and buy the damn things at the Goodwill, right? Buy the damn things at the Goodwill and then launder them, and they'll be fine. If you're broke, right, you can still dress nice. Even if you're broke, you can dress nice. Let's see. Nothing as fancy as yours, although I wear a Zodiac Super Seawolf. Okay. Let's see. Begrudgingly, I will admit that the trend toward dive watches isn't terrible. Dive watches are great all-arounders for watches that you never have to take off. Well, for old people like me, they're very legible, right? That's why I bought it, is it's very legible even if I'm not wearing my reading glasses. So, and when you have a titanium stunner like this one, it's also very comfortable on wrist. Now, if this was steel, not so much. It'd be too much bulk. I don't think it would be comfortable. So I think with a diver, you really want to go with a stunner like this one. You really want to go with something like the 231. Stunner alert on the channel. You want to go with the 231 Stunner. The 231 Stunner is what you want to do. When you're going with that, they come on a lobster class. They are made in Italy. The mean weight on those are 11.6 grams for 7.5 inch for 18 karat. I just don't want to seem too flashy for my age. I want that I'm doing well for my age. Look, Eduardo. Yeah, I think it will be okay. Again, I would study it real close and make a judgment call as to that it'll hold up fine, and it'll probably be okay. It will probably be okay. And remember, just because something's made in Italy does not mean it's great these days, because Italy has been importing a lot of cheap Chinese labor for a lot of their leather goods and things like that. They might be doing the same thing with jewelry. So just make sure, just look it over real close and make sure, right, that you're getting what you think you're getting. Craig, are you going to put the 005 on eBay or Chrono 24? No, I'm not going to do that. No. I'll sell it to a subscriber if a subscriber wants it, but I'm not actively trying to sell it. It's not a priority for me. It's peanuts, peanuts. Let's see. Leon's in the house. I say let Biden win in 2020. This is just the tip of the iceberg for the economic collapse. It will get worse, and he will get blamed. And in 2024, it will be a GOP president elected. There you go. That's a plan. Eduardo, also, Craig, Franco chain isn't 3 millimeters by 1 millimeter. They are 3 millimeters by 3 millimeter. It gives bigger impression. Okay. Got you. It looks good. It looks good. I say it looks good. Yep. But I think the faux pay is cool too, though. And the faux pay comes in different sizes. So I don't know. I would still talk to Steve and see what he has in a faux pay that's similar. And see what the price differences are. And tell him you're a subscriber. Tell him to sharpen his pencil. Tell him to give you a good deal. Tell him we'll show it off on the channel, for gosh sakes. Tell him you're a wrench member. A wrench gang member. T-Town says, I bought a ton of polos at the Goodwill, Craig. I scored Nike, Nautica, and Banana Republic polos for cheap prices. I did just buy a J. Crew performance polo at a closeout price, though. There you go. Is the 229 significantly heavier than the 231? Did you see both? Yes, it is significantly heavier. It's heavier enough that I would not go that direction. I would not consider one. I mean, this is not feather light. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Snowflake, if you buy a Grand Seiko Snowflake, that's feather light, right? This thing, there's a lot of heft to this case. There's a lot to this case. It's a 44 mil watch. So it's not feather light. It's just very comfortable, and it is significantly lighter than the 229. You can check the specs and see the differences, but yes, it is. I did look at both, and I also like the gold, the GS in gold on the dial. I think that's really cool. In person, it pops nice. It looks good. I like that aspect of the 231. That's not on the 229. The local thrift stores have nice items. A lot of stores donate unsold new clothes to them. Leon in the house. Well, and the other thing is, if you know what you're looking for, you can sometimes get some really high-end stuff at some of the thrift stores, literally for a fraction of what it would cost new. If you know what you're looking for, right? And you have a good eye for quality. It's absolutely a good move. Save money, let somebody else suffer all the depreciation, right? Clothing depreciates like nobody's business, right? If you can buy it after it's done, it's depreciating, and it's still in great condition. You don't want to buy junk. You want to buy it in great condition. But yeah, you can, especially women can do that, because a lot of women will buy a dress and wear it once, right? And then it goes back in their closet, and they didn't think it fit right or whatever, for whatever reason, they didn't wear it again, and then years later they donate it to Goodwill. It's like still in mint condition. It could have been an expensive dress, right? And it's going to go for a fraction of what it costs new. So that's always a good move. 229 is about 70 grams heavier than the 231. Yeah, that's not peanuts. Leon says, I would buy Fashion jewelry from Italy. I would not buy a car from Italy or France. French cars are like French workers in that they work only 2 days a week. There you go. But I'll tell you, some of them had really comfortable seats, like the Citroens, right? They had really comfortable seats. So there's that. Teton, California. I also go with a JLC Reverso. I don't like Roman numerals on the tank. Okay. Nobody should be buying any Cartier except a Santos. Okay. Eduardo says, all right, Craig, I'll keep doing my homework. I've seen what 18 karat gold looks like in the full sunlight, and it's stunning. It doesn't look dull like 10 or 14. I'm hooked on 18 karat. Yeah, but as long as it's 18 karat yellow gold, you're correct. It is the way to go. Absolutely it is. Cheetown in the house. Craig, do you think a traditional Nautilus buyer is the sort of guy to wear lounge lizard outfits, have a taste for snow, and listen to the captain and Tennille and watch the love? That's very possible. Very, very possible. Okay, we're getting up to it, folks. It's been about an hour. Can you imagine? Time for my plug for the lovely Bree, BreeFitDance.com, BreeFitDance.com. Be sure to subscribe to her channels and all her social media and all that good stuff. The lovely Brianna, been talking to her the last couple days. We're going to be working on some things, projects coming up. And definitely, if you feel like it, go ahead and help her with her Patreon and all that. I just got a text message come in. Let me see if there's something urgent. It's my buddy, the one that bought those cheap boots. I'll check it after the broadcast ends. But yeah, go ahead and do that, and make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, and make sure that you click the little bell. And please, don't buy junk, folks. Just do without. I'd rather do without than to buy some absolute junk and take it home with me. I don't want to have junk around the house. I don't think it's a good move. I don't think it's a good move to have junk around the house. Let's see. Nautilus bandwagon newbies work for banks, know the price of everything but the value of nothing. Leon's in the house. Is Bree actually coming out of her house? She goes outside of her house right there nearby, but she doesn't travel anywhere yet. And she's planning on coming here the second week of September, and we're going to work on some things. So that's the plan as it stands now. So we shall see. We shall see how that all works out. But that's how we plan. That's how it's planned right now. And but in the meantime, subscribe to her social media. She is putting out some content, and it's always entertaining. Lance, check your email in a bit. Okay, so Lance, let me check the email here. Make sure I'm not missing anything before I wrap. We're coming right up on an hour. Coming right up on an hour. Let's see here. Okay. Just make sure that I'm not missing anything here before we wrap this puppy up. Okay. All right. Let's see. Lance checked. Okay. Craig, how do you figure out topics for each session? How about tomorrow? Quality ties. We can try to talk about some ties. I just wing it, folks. At this point, I'm just winging it because the whole plan here for this whole thing was for Steve to do shows at least twice a week, showing watches and so on and so forth. I'd do a show maybe once or twice a week, and maybe even get somebody else to do a show another day of the week so we could have things covered. But I wouldn't be doing shows every freaking day. I wasn't planning on doing shows every day. But then the lockdown came around, And so I said, well, what the hell? Everybody's locked down. I'll try to do shows as often as I can. And I've done shows almost every day. And I really shouldn't be. It does sometimes distract me from what I should be doing. But I've been doing my best to do shows. Okay. It looks like we did stop there for a second. Looks like the broadcast stopped. I just restarted it. And this is just to give me enough time to check the email and then do a proper wrap up. So I was able to restart the broadcast. And let's look at these watches here. There we go. There is a picture of these stunners in the sun. I still like the Jubilee bracelet. I still like the Jubilee. I've always liked the Jubilee. Of course, my first Rolex had the Jubilee. It had the engine turned bezel. It was a steel, all steel, date just, with the engine turned bezel. And it had a Jubilee that was made in the USA, a USA-made Jubilee. So that was pretty cool. All right. Well, on that note, we are going to finally wrap this puppy up. And one more look at the Lovely Breeze website. And we will hopefully see you again mañana. Mañana. That's what we'll hopefully do. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the little bell to get notifications. Thanks for watching.